Hello's my YouTube family. There are stories that never made it to the news. Whispers buried deep and where no light reaches. Secrets too dark for the world to believe. I search the blackest corners of the internet and far beyond to bring you the truth they tried so hard to erase. Tales that were deleted, covered up, abandoned in digital shadows. But fear remembers everything. These are not just stories. They're warnings. And if you're still watching, if you're still here, it's already too late. Welcome to Fears, and now let the horror begin.
Somewhere over the black ocean, 3 hours into a silent red-eye, I felt the kind of pressure no turbulence could explain. The plane was dark, all shades pulled, passengers half dead in their sleeping masks and headphones. I unbuckled slowly, trying not to wake the old lady beside me. She'd fallen asleep with her mouth open, one shoe off. Drooling on the in-flight magazine, the aisle lights cast a pale glow like someone had taken hospital light and diluted it. I stepped over legs, ducked. Bags moved like I was sneaking through a crypt. The whole plane felt wrong, too quiet, even the engine sounded muffled. Like we weren't flying anymore, just drifting. The lavatory at the back was occupied. I waited, rocking gently with the plane's subtle sway, when I noticed something. The sign above the handle didn't say occupied. It said nothing, just a dead, unlit rectangle. Then I saw the handle, moving slowly up, down, clicking like someone inside was confused, or deciding. I glanced around, no one else was awake. The flight attendants were gonna vanish behind that stupid curtain, where they hide and whisper. I hesitated, then knocked once. Silence. Knocked again. Still nothing. The door opened slow, like it didn't want to. No sound, no light, just blackness. I should have walked away, but something pulled me forward. Not curiosity, not urgency. Something heavier, like being reeled in. I stepped inside. The light flickered to life behind me, but not normal. It buzzed once, then hummed. A strange, low hum, like a tuning fork jammed inside my skull. The mirror was smeared, like something wet had dragged itself across it. I locked the door. And that's when I heard it breathing. Not mine. It was raspy, wet, right above me. I didn't look up at first, just stared at the door, hand on the lock, frozen. Then something dripped onto my shoulder. It was clear, thick, warm. I slowly tilted my head. There was a face, pressed to the ceiling, pale skin stretched too thin, like it had been glued up there. Its mouth was open, not screaming, just stuck that way. The eyes were moving, fast, like REM sleep, but wrong. They rolled and flicked, as if scanning the ceiling for something, anything. I stood, pants barely up, fumbling for the lock. The face didn't blink. It just grinned. A long, slow grin, like it was remembering something delicious. The lock jammed. Of course it did. The mirror behind me showed something else. Not my reflection, but rows of faces behind me, stacked, layered, fused into the walls. Every surface had eyes, eyelids stitched open. When I turned to check, they were gone, but the ceiling face remained, watching, breathing louder now, rhythmic, hungry. I slammed the door open and stumbled back into the aisle. The light returned to normal. Everyone still asleep. I looked back. The bathroom door shut slowly on its own. The occupied sign flicked on, but no one had gone in. I sat the rest of the flight with my seatbelt tight. Eyes on the ceiling, at baggage claim. I noticed a trail of moisture dripping from my carry-on. When I opened it at home, my spare shirt was soaked, and it reeked of the plane's bathroom, like something had followed me off the flight, and it wasn't done yet. I was trying to save money. That's why I hitched a ride. The bus had left me stranded after a transfer mix-up. Middle of nowhere. Desert road curling through red dirt and silence. My phone was dead. No service anyway. The sun was bleeding out behind the cactus hills when the car pulled up. Old modals set in. Faded paint. Dust-caked windows. The kind of car that looked like it had stories it didn't want to tell. The man inside smiled. Not friendly. Not unkind. Just wrong. Like someone practicing human expression in the mirror and still getting it a little off. Need a ride? He asked. His voice was too calm, measured, like a nurse. Telling you the needle won't hurt? I hesitated. Everything in me said no, but my legs were tired. The night was creeping, and Arizona gets cold after sundown. So I nodded. Double quotes, yeah, thanks. He unlocked the door. Manual locks. I should have turned back right then. The inside smelled like plastic and gasoline. A freshener hung from the mirror. Smiley face faded to a jaundiced yellow. He didn't ask where I was headed until we were already moving. Flagstaff, I said. He nodded. Perfect. No questions, no chit-chat, just silence, and the road about. 10 minutes in, I noticed the dashboard. No radio, just wires, frayed and exposed like something had been ripped out. Then I looked at the glove compartment. Duct tape shut. I asked about it, trying to sound casual. He just said, "It rattles." He didn't look at me when he said it. We passed a broken down gas station. I asked if we could stop, said I needed to use the bathroom. He didn't even slow down. Just said, "Not safe." Then the headlights caught something. A smear. Like someone had run over fresh meat and kept going. But there was no animal in sight. Just the mark. He started humming. Some old tune. Out of tune. Childlike. I checked my window. Manual crank. Of course. I coughed. Said I needed air. He clicked the AC on. Cold burst. Chemical sweet. That's when I noticed the back seat. A tarp, wrinkled. Thick, red smudges on the corner. Like paint. But it wasn't paint. I stared too long. He noticed you. Okay? He asked. I nodded. Too fast, then his smile returned, slow, dry, like someone peeling off old wallpaper. I don't usually take passengers, he said. Something shifted in his tone, hungrier, like it meant something else. I lied. Told him someone was expecting me, that they'd tracked my phone. He didn't answer, just kept driving. Eventually, I saw a sign, rest stop, 1 mile. I pointed, trying to sound excited. He slowed, turned, pulled into the lot. It was empty, of course. I unbuckled, said I'd be quick. He didn't stop me. I stepped out, faking calm. Made it to the restroom building, didn't go in, just ran behind the structure, through scrub, into the trees. He didn't honk, didn't shout, but his engine didn't move. It idled for 20 minutes, then finally, silence. I waited 2 hours before coming out. The car was gone, but in the dirt where he'd parked, I saw it, a small object half buried in the sand. It was a driver's license, not his. Girls. Faded, cracked blood along the edge. When I was 9, I knew something was wrong with the man my mom married. She called him Daniel. He was quiet, polite, always wore button-up shirts, and smiled like he was trying not to show teeth. But even as a kid, I could tell that smile was wrong. It never reached his eyes, and his eyes never blinked when they were supposed to. The first time he came over for dinner, our dog Max growled so hard his throat bled. He never growled at anyone before. That same night, Max vanished. My mom told me he ran away. I didn't believe her. Daniel moved in 3 weeks later. Things changed fast. All the mirrors in the house were either taken down or covered with sheets. He said he didn't like reflections. They're disrespectful, he told my mom. And she just nodded like that made sense. The lights in the hallway dimmed whenever he walked through. I thought it was just the wiring, until one night, I saw his shadow move on its own. It reached the corner of the wall before he did. He never ate with us. Said he had dietary needs. but I heard things at night, crunching, slurping, low growls. Behind the closed door of the basement. One night, I snuck downstairs. The basement door was open. I crept to the bottom step. The smell hit me first, like rot and wet fur. Then I saw it. Daniel wasn't Daniel anymore. He was hunched over. His limbs long and jointed wrong. Skin pulsing like it didn't know what shape to hold. He was eating something. No someone. The clothes were still on the body. Blue jacket, just like the mailman wore. He turned toward me, but not with his face, with his back. A second face opened there, smiling, whispering. I ran. I told my mom. She slapped me hard, told me never to lie about her husband. The next day, she made me apologize to him. I did, with tears in my eyes, and he just smiled. That horrible, slow, stretched smile. After that, I kept quiet. But I watched. He never went out during the day. He'd vanish for hours every night, and come back reeking of blood and pine. The forest near our house used to be full of animals. Now it was silent. He was nesting, I think, preparing something. One night I heard them arguing. Mom said, "It's getting worse." Said she couldn't keep covering for him. She cried. He didn't yell. He just said, "You chose me. There's no going back." That was the last night I saw her cry. 2 days later, her eyes were wrong. Wider, glossier, like they were borrowed from someone else. She didn't blink right, either. Now they both watch me when I sleep. I hear them pacing in the hallway, whispering. I think she's like him now, and I don't think I'm their son anymore. I think I'm dinner.
What you just heard, Han, was more than a story. It was a glimpse into what waits in the dark. Some truths should never be found, but now that you've heard them, they're coming closer. Subscribe while you still can. This was Fears. Until next time, keep your lights on.